People of Earth, how are you? Yes, the USB is on. My name is Al.
Thank God.
His name is Joe. Together we got a little something called Kinda Right.
Well,
we rap about stuff. We're a current events show. That's what we do, current events. Anything that's currently happening, we talk about.
We opine.
Yeah, and and sometimes that means we talk about our personal lives because that shit's current. It's current.
Using our
and we run out of
knowledge
shit.
of, and
because you want to talk about what you know, I got to tell you right now, I've been listening to this. I haven't listened to like the last 3 shows because we're just full of shit. I figured out.
Well, what do
I
you
don't
mean?
even like. All I do is because I write meticulous notes now. That's so I don't have to go back and listen to it. I don't listen to the show anymore. We're just so full of shit, and we don't talk about anything we know about.
I do
Barely.
not think that's true.
I mean, I kind of like, I'm like a pop culture type fan of government and presidential politics and shit like that. I'm in it for the culture. You know what I mean? I'm not really in it for the policy and all that. You know what I'm saying, Joe?
Well, that's boring.
I'm
Who
more
wants
about
to read that.
I'm more about the fucking
We
what do you
wanna-
call it? The gossip. And
I
the
like
fucking,
how we were just talking about Richard Blumenthal, who was on CNN.
He's a vile-looking man.
And
First,
he
let me just say this.
Looks like he is definitely fucked a dog.
And he
At least 10 times.
and he doesn't even entertain anybody else's opinion other than his own on anything.
No, I was gonna.
He's a cunt.
One of the things I was thinking about, because oftentimes there's a theme that I get going, but because I'm either drunk or retarded, it doesn't come into play. You know what I'm saying? And I was talking about Alec Baldwin, and I was trying to think of what it is that makes me really dislike Alec Baldwin. Not in the acting format. We've both, Al and I, have both agreed that he's a wonderful actor. But to listen to him, and you know what? And it's something that we don't do, is we don't come out and say we are absolutely 100% certain, and we've never come across that way, that we are correct. The only people ever that can come out and say they're 100% certain of anything are people that say if they're a historian and there was a specific event, and even then it's sketchy unless it's just, all right, who won the battle on such and such a battlefield? And you can clarify it. Math teachers can be 100% correct.
5 + 5 is 10, Joe.
Up to a certain point, and then it gets a little crazy.
Well, until you get real small.
Physicists, for the most part, for any physics that the average person could understand, like myself, is 100% correct. Anything that I don't understand, I have no idea how much it's off, or I just have an understanding that they can't really do anything smaller than an atom. Is just not. They don't have that one nailed. You got no idea.
No.
So that, I think that's the thing that was I was trying to say a little bit. And today we have all this. They are just. Now I don't watch the news. I didn't turn the news on until.
There's just not a lot of news going on. It's a fucking slow news cycle, son.
But they are. You go on CNN. Now, I don't know if any of you watch this cable news shit for any length of time. I hope you don't. I used to. And
It's good
I wasn't
in
a
small doses.
I used to watch a lot of Morning Joe. I used to watch a lot of the CNN at night, some Fox News at night, some MSNBC even at night. Although I've never watched Rachel Maddow other than for 10 or 15 minutes because she's insufferable.
Yeah, she is.
She's constantly correct. Much like Sean Hannity is constantly correct.
Hannity's awful too. By
Or
the way.
Bill O'Reilly. who used to be
O'Reilly
on.
was funny. O'Reilly was funny.
Well, at least, yes, he did have, until he started raping chicks or whatever the hell he was
fingering
doing.
people, all that shit. Rubbing them down with a fucking loofah.
But it's so biased. I was just...
I wanted to
Talking
talk
up.
about this guy. Oh, sorry, buddy. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's
Putin
okay.
came up. I was wondering if you had any knowledge of the story and an opinion. Because my opinion is those guys are going to be fine. They fucking launched some hypersonic fucking nuclear missile, which
Who?
I guess nobody
Putin?
has. Yeah. You can't shoot the fucking thing down. You'll never shoot it down. You know what I mean?
Well,
They got something that we can't shoot down,
you know...
which is fine.
And then, so, the thing is, Putin's never going to use it, ever.
No.
There won't be a nuclear war unless it's a mistake.
Yeah, right.
And that's the only thing that we have to be concerned about, is that if somebody fucks up and there's a mistake in the chain of command.
There's got to be, I mean, you got to figure there's got to be the best people in that fucking chain. You got to figure that somebody's figured out how to have it so there's no mistake.
Well,
You got to figure.
They were seconds to launch when Boris Yeltsin was in. He would not launch. He should have launched.
Yeah.
They had the football out, and it was like a fucking weather satellite that was the United States launched in. And they thought it was the fucking nuclear weapons coming. And Yeltsin just said, "I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it."
So that's within the last 25 years or so, because he
So,
was in
It's happened
charge
a
when
few
Clinton was in.
times. It's happened a few times.
And Yeltsin was a drunk.
He was-
Probably
he
a
was-
deep thinker, by the way, because he probably had the chicken and the egg. He's a deep thinker because he was a drunk, and he was a drunk because he was a deep thinker, and he couldn't shut his fucking head off.
Well,
You know what I mean?
there's all this Russia talk, and I got to tell you, I don't understand it, first of all. Russia, I don't understand what people are concerned with.
Doesn't it behoove us to have them as a friend anyway? No matter how.
But even if, look, we won. We beat the
Yeah,
Russians
China
already.
is the only one we should really be worried about.
Yes. I would think that...
Because they might come looking to cash in.
someday they might. Probably not.
And they're going to try to say, listen,
China will outpace
Enough.
our economy at some point within the next 10 or 15 years, I guess.
yeah,
And
with 3 times as many people.
they it's just bound to happen.
Right.
I mean, they have more than we've got 320 million, they have 1.3 billion.
Okay, I was using 340.
So they have literally
Million.
4 times. They have over 4 times the people.
Okay.
So at some point, their folks
What do
are
they have?
going to make
1.2 billion already? You said.
1.3.
Yeah.
So at some point,
that's a lot of people.
their people will be making 1/4
It's a lot of fried.
of what
It's a lot
an
of fried
American
rice,
citizen
man.
makes. And when they make 1/4, they will have beaten us.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying, Al?
Listen, your math is wrong. It's more like 3 times. I get hung up on that shit.
Well, if you have 320 million,
No, it's 340.
if you have 340 million,
The 40 puts it over the top, by the way.
and you have 1.3 billion,
Yeah, I know. I know what you're
that's
saying.
pretty much exactly
3 times as much.
4 times.
Hold on. I'm going to go.
4 times 3
I'm
is
not
12.
looking to get you mad, dude. No, I know, but that 40 is magical in the middle there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I know. I know it is.
Times 3 equals 1.02. So we're both wrong. It's somewhere in the middle. Hold on. It's like 3.5. Will you meet me in the middle, Joe? We're at a yard sale
Well-
with numbers right now. I'm on it. 3, 4.
You know, if I had a calculator in front of me.
Times 4 equals. All right, yeah, you're more right. Sorry, buddy.
Well, I know I'm right.
It's 1.36 if you go by 4. You're right. You're more right than me again with math.
Well, it's 1.3 billion.
You got it. It's a lot of people.
If it was 330 million people in the United States and there was 1 billion in China, we would have 3 times as many.
You got it. Listen, all I do is crunch
So
numbers
now
for
we
a
have
living.
roughly 4 times.
I just use a computer. I don't even have to compute.
But that's okay. But Richard Blumenthal, so CNN's, I guess it is a slow news cycle.
Oh, it's awful.
So we had we had a 428 drop in the stock market, which everybody's just...
That's a drop in the bucket, dude. That shit's way over 20K, isn't it?
Let's look at this. Here's the thing. If you're 20 years old and you haven't been around a long time and you're listening to this...
Well, they don't know anything about the stock market anyway.
Or if you're 30 years old.
There you go. They might.
Then, while you're in there, the
other one?
Yeah, might as well. We had a 420-point drop, which means percentage-wise, the value of the stock market went down 1.68%, which it's a lot of money in dollars, but it's not a lot of percentage. Compared to in 1987 on Black Monday,
that's like if I lost $3.
We dropped 508 points when the stock to a value of 1,735 on the Dow. Now, that's 22%. That dropped 22%. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
And they're pissing and moaning about that.
They're not pissing and moaning about it. They're trying to make it seem like it really makes it. It's
well,
really
it's all.
Something. It
they're trying. They're trying to connect it to all of the supposed this infighting that is going on inside of the White House.
Oh man, beer is good.
Of which I don't think there's really much of. There's something wrong with the Kushner kid. He may have to leave. And maybe Trump's daughter might have to go too, but we don't even know.
It's his presidency maturing beyond what he's learning. He doesn't need those people.
A guy who's never been in office before.
I know, but his presidency is leaning down for the next term. That's what they're doing. They're leaning. He knows what he's doing. You know that. The guy knows how to run shit.
What I'm saying is, for a guy who's never been in public office. You know, even if you're a mayor of a city, although Obama was never ran fucking anything either, but at least he was a witness to things being run.
Like what?
Well, I don't know. I was just the Senate. At least he's got a handle on
the whole time he was in the state Senate.
Can I finish?
He was running for U.S.
At least
Senator.
he's got some idea of what the ethics rules are and how fucking nitpicky they are about this shit. And making sure that nobody's out to try to make money off of the government, even though it was fucking legal up until about 2 years ago for the entire Congress to do insider trading, which is how Nancy Pelosi and her hubby made a shitload of money.
Insider trading?
The old Nancy who wants to, take care of everyone. She wants every Mexican to move in. Are you just
speculating, or do you have...
Nancy Pelosi and her husband... Look it up on the computer.
I believe you. I'm just asking if you're speculating or if it's Nancy Pelosi.
They made a dog shitload of money
on insider trading. Okay.
Her husband's like a real estate lawyer or something like that.
I mean, by the way, can I just clarify what I was saying about Obama? And that was. The whole time he was running, the whole time he was a state senator, he was never anything till he was a state senator. He was never a councilman or anything. State senator was his first political gig, and the whole time he was a state senator, he was running for U.S. senator. And the whole time he was a U.S. senator, he was running for president. So I don't know how much fucking... of the fucking Reed's law of parliamentary, whatever the fuck he was up on. You know what I mean? And
I don't know.
All the, protocols and all that shit. I I don't know. It doesn't matter. We talked about
There
him.
was a
Someone brought him up. Someone asked me today at work, out of the blue, what I thought of fucking Barack Obama. I said, I can do 2 hours on Barack Obama if you want me to, but it boils down to this. He's the worst president in the history of the United States. And I'd like to meet him and say hello and have a beer with him.
I don't want to have a beer with him. I don't want to meet him. I don't want
I
to meet
wouldn't mind meeting
I don't
him.
want to meet any of them, though. But Barack Obama, we don't know whether he's the worst president in history.
Well, I mean, it's hard to quantify. It's either him or Jimmy Carter, or I guess they say Herbert Hoover was a nightmare, too. But
I think
those are the guys that come to mind.
if you want to make a comparison between the expectations that Obama built and the complete lack of delivering anything,
Yeah, I mean,
in that sense, he probably is the worst president.
this cat had delivered on 9 things in 100 days. You know what I mean? And he's still delivering. Yeah, you're right. Fucking Obama, he promised people, although he did promise people phones. Didn't he give people phones? I keep thinking people had Obama phones and shit.
60 Minutes uncovers Pelosi's insider
That's what I'm looking
stock
at.
trades.
Steve Croft got in her face? That's crazy. Isn't he a communist?
I watched that.
That's not that recent either. Oh, that's years ago, right?
It's not that long.
6 years ago, dude. Jesus.
Well, that's right around when they made it illegal.
So they're still only saying it was soft corruption. Insider trading with a capital I.
Insider trading is fucking hard corruption.
Yeah, but I'm just saying they're calling it soft corruption.
Yeah, I know.
It's criminal behavior is what it is. It really is.
If you can go to the CEO of a company and he can tell you, hey, listen, the gizmo we've been promoting for the last 3 years doesn't fucking work. And the stock's trading at 400 and you go and buy short sell the stock, or on the if the stock's trading at 20 and the guy says, hey, we got this gizmo that's coming out that's going to change, it's going to cure fucking cancer, and you go buy 100,000 shares of stock, that's fucking criminal.
Yeah.
It's hugely people go to jail for that all the time. It's not like if you get caught doing that. If you get caught doing that once, I believe you go to jail. So,
Well, Nancy didn't go to jail.
no, of course not. And she's not bringing in and letting a bunch of illegal aliens live at any of her houses. Like the winery isn't filled up. It's not a tent city at the winery.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you would think that Nancy, with all her talk about how everyone should pay for these people, how it's the number one issue, actually, that, you know, she'd have a lot of them living there.
Right.
But she doesn't.
Well, I mean, what do you want? She is fucking vile, though, too. Fucking cunt.
Well, we've often said that, you know, Nancy was probably a goer.
Oh, yeah, but
she's an awful human being.
yeah, that's the point.
These people are such scum. You can't even imagine. And I'm talking about, because I've often said that the people that you see on television on a regular basis that are there forever, the Nancy Pelosi's on the left, the, who's Mitch McConnell, who looks like some sort of fucking alien on the right, Harry Reid, who was there on the left, even Orrin Hatch, who's leaving. This was no... Even the great John McCain. You know,
John McCain is a doddering old fool, and he has been for 20
got
years.
Saved by the first Iraq War. He was part of the Keating Five.
I remember.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The Keating Five. There's
Some
a guy
banking shit.
whose last name was Keating, who, this was back in the in the late 80s, early 90s, when all the savings and loans in the country shit the bed. And they started the Resolution Trust Corporation. And I went and bought land from the Resolution Trust Corporation. Because what would happen is the banks ended up owning a shitload of land, and then the bank would go out of business, and then the bank that took them over would go out of business. And it ended up you'd be working with the government. And I guess old John took a shitload of dough from this guy, Keating, along with several other Republicans. And it was a big scandal. And they were doing hearings, and then the Iraq War happened, and then you never heard of it again.
Right.
So sometime history, like Bill Clinton was certainly hoping for a fucking war after the cum-stained dress came out.
Oh, yeah, nothing like a war to take.
Didn't he actually bomb something?
Yeah, it was like Yugoslavia or something. Well, NATO did, but,
Trying to get his name off of that?
Yeah. What the fuck? Hey, did you get my email earlier?
I got an email from you.
It was an official email. It just was. It was. What is it doing? Confirming something we were talking about recently. Jeff Bezos is unequivocally the richest man in the earth. And
yeah, I saw that.
The interesting part of the story was 80% of all the money that was spent online on Earth from the day after Thanksgiving to Christmas, 80% of it was on Amazon. That's pretty fucking close to a monopoly, man.
It was more. Wasn't it like 84%?
Oh, was it? I just remember 80.
I saw something like that.
But yeah, that's fucking impressive. And I don't think they're breaking up Amazon anytime too soon.
Well, no, because Amazon has competition. Now, I, as somebody who buys a lot of shit online, I buy stuff from Amazon, but I don't even think it approaches 50%. I buy probably most of my stuff on eBay.
You shop hard, though. Not everyone shops hard.
And not a lot of people.
89%.
Yeah. Not a lot of people shop for, I'm looking for a 50 amp relay with a 120 volt coil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's not a lot of people shopping for that. Although they sell that shit at Amazon.
Of course they do.
So
Amazon's got everything, man.
But there's absolutely no monopoly. Walmart bought Jet.com.
The fuck is Jet.com?
Jet is kind of like I'm not saying it's an Amazon, but it's kind of like trying to be an Amazon, and Walmart bought them to compete with Amazon.
Okay.
And Walmart has I've bought shit online from Walmart. And Walmart will pop up pretty soon as being a player.
I'll tell you right now what not to get into at Walmart, because they've been trying to figure it out and they still can't figure the fuck out. If you order shit, you can pre-order shit from your house at your local Walmart. Like your fucking shampoo and your butt wipes and some fucking Q-tips or whatever, that type of shit. And they'll have it ready for you, except them having it ready for you is a myth. What they do is you go to the counter and they go, all right, I'll be right back. And someone goes and pulls it and puts it in a bag while you wait. It's kind of
really?
You could have done that yourself. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's not worked out. They haven't worked the kinks out. It's kind of like ordering pizza at Cabby's. They're like, all right, 45 minutes. What they meant to say was, in 45 minutes, come on down and have a couple $5 beers, and we'll put your fucking pizza in the oven when you get here.
Yeah, because I do that a lot with Lowe's and Home Depot, and they legitimately have the shit up there.
Ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, Walmart. What Walmart wants you to do is buy some more shit after you ordered it. You know
Well,
what I
that's
mean?
the whole thing. That's
You
why
know.
they sell cheap tires.
Yeah,
And make you wait 3 hours
Yeah,
for them
right.
to put them on.
Right, because they want you to walk around, you know, which is fine. I mean, hey, the business model appears to work, you know. That's why the lines are insufferably long. That's why they don't ever put enough people on to get people out of line, because the longer you're in line, the more likely your 5-year-old is to fucking pull something off the fucking shelf.
I've gone
or
in.
You're going to go, ooh, that fucking T-shirt was cool. I'm going to go get it.
I've gone in to get like $20 worth of shit, maybe some motor oil at Walmart. Walked out with $400 worth of stuff.
Absolutely. I did that.
It happens.
I did that over Christmas. I'm like, I'm going to get this, and this. It's $250. $450 later, I'm walking out, you know, because I bought a shitload of stuff. But, you know, kudos to the Waltons. You know what I mean?
Well, no, fuck the Waltons. I'm a firm believer that they should take most of the Waltons' money away.
I don't know, Joe.
I don't know where it's supposed to.
Go ahead.
The guy that founded Walmart is dead. He's dead. So I don't think you should, these perpetual dynasties of fucking shitheads after the guy that actually did it dies.
So you're going to just redistribute his wealth?
It's a horrible thing. It's not good for the country. It's a bad thing because you have morons controlling a shitload of capital.
Potential morons. I understand what you're saying. You're being slightly cynical.
Usually they're fucking morons.
I guess.
More often than not.
You got to figure that they were able to afford at least a good education anyway, you know?
Yeah, the Kennedys. All the Kennedys. Ted Kennedy went to Harvard.
So did fucking George Bush. Those two are about on the same intellectual level, by the way.
George Bush
was
Ted Kennedy are about as fucking dumb as you can get.
W's IQ was way higher than Ted Kennedy's, I assure you.
Yeah, and plus,
I assure you.
Although, well, I was going to say Ted was probably drunker than George.
Maybe
but that's
not.
Probably
well, not in
true.
the early days. He did quit when he was 40, I think. Right.
He found God.
I didn't really find God. I think he just...
No, he found God. He got baptized in the river and everything.
Oh, is that his fucking deal?
Yeah.
No.
He became a Baptist, I believe.
There it is. He's stupid. there is the nail in the fucking
really
coffin
nice.
of stupidity right there. Born again Christianity. If you're a fucking born again Christian,
Paul Pelosi spends a weekend,
your IQ is less than 100.
a weekend a month with his lovely wife.
Who does what?
Paul Pelosi. This is Nancy's
Hubby?
spends a week. He said he invested in a lot of stuff that I'm sure he got little tips on.
Yeah. Well, you know, go for it. What else is he supposed to do? Fucking landscape? I mean, what do you want him to do?
Kill himself. I'd like him to see him kill himself.
Yeah. Somehow, I don't think old Paul's fucking pulling that trigger. Fucking no pun intended.
Well, you know what interests me? I watched a thing today about the. I got it written down even.
But you can't read your own handwriting. Been there, buddy. I'm the same
What was I
fucking
talking
way.
about here?
Ooh.
Oh, Richard Blumenthal, who we were looking at. Richard Blumenthal is a senator from Connecticut. And Richard Blumenthal is very upset with Donald Trump. And he has a lot of questions about Trump's, and I love this. He has a lot of questions about Trump and his family and their level of morality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he's the arbiter of what's fucking moral.
So, you got to love this, folks. So, Richard Blumenthal, when he was running for senator, this is out of the last part of a sentence, so it is out of context. I encourage you to go look it up. I served in Vietnam was the last part of the sentence. He said something like, it didn't really help us all when you and I served in Vietnam. And then it turns out that Richard Blumenthal got 5 deferments, and never had been to Vietnam.
Oh, boy.
And they still fucking elected him senator.
Of the great state of what again?
Connecticut.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now, how could you elect somebody like that? How could you vote? I think he was running against Jim McMahon's wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now, she's got to be better than him, right?
Well, I mean, Connecticut's a tough egg to crack for Republicans running
that
for
a
senator.
Is that a huge liberal stronghold?
Yeah, that's a tough egg to crack, man.
So you're going to take the guy that lied about going to Vietnam over the woman who she had a big hand in finding she kind of ran the inside part of that WWF.
That company. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that makes her all that fucking qualified in the eyes of the voters of the great state of Connecticut. But
So
to me,
the guy
it
that
seems
lies.
yeah, because he's got a D next to his name. That's how they vote down there. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. He was a prosecutor. Probably one of these prosecutors who has stepped on the heads of innocent people who are in jail now,
Oh, yeah.
rotting away.
Absolutely.
But Nancy Pelosi,
Who is this?
all kinds of
screaming
kids.
now. Look at this one. She's fucking screaming.
that's Gloria Borger.
Is it?
Yeah. Wouldn't it be great to see like a
She's
a
awful.
huge black cock go right into her mouth while she's talking?
What would be fun
And
is if a
she chokes to death?
fucking Learjet tore its fucking way through that studio right now and just
Killed all 5
wiped
of those
all of
fucking
them
assholes.
out. All of them, including Wolf. Fuck you.
And this little cunt here with this metrosexual fag,
Yeah.
David Swerdlick.
Is that his name?
Yeah. Look at this cunt.
Oh, he's awful.
You just know he's saying some bad shit right now.
Yeah. What he's saying is the stock market is just reflecting everyone else's hatred of Trump, which is just couldn't be further from the truth.
And he's just so certain. These people are fucking 100% certain they're correct.
At all times.
The same people that said it's a shoo-in. Hillary Clinton's going to be the next
we get most of
president.
our steel from Canada. I mean, we probably make most of our steel.
So, college enrollment, Al, is down. It's been dropping since 2011.
Now, when
They
they
think
say
the
that,
bubble is bursting.
now how do they gauge that? By people who are freshmen? The number of freshmen coming in, or
I
the
think
number
they
of
count. They say how many people went to college in 2011, and then they say they count every year, and they go, well, now it's 2.4 million less people have gone to college than they did in
How the fuck
2011.
do whoever compiles those numbers is good, man. Or do they rely on schools? I mean,
Well, I think
there's a
it's
lot of colleges in this country.
There sure are, and it's a sad state of affairs.
How many people, by the way?
I think it was 2.4 million people.
That's all. That seems low, doesn't it?
2.4 million people less.
No, I'm saying how many people are in college.
I don't know.
I mean, so it's two. I mean, that means probably 10 or 12 million people, I guess.
How many people?
Look at this pockmarked motherfucker. I mean, I'm no fucking looker, but Jesus Christ. And they say that, Jesus Christ. The guy looks infected. I mean, what are you looking up, buddy?
I'm looking.
I mean, we don't usually do the radio silence thing. Sorry, everybody, but I just don't care tonight. So I just don't care.
It doesn't really say. I just looked up how many students are attending. How many undergraduate students are there?
I mean, they got to have. I mean, if they fucking know how many people went to. I mean,
guess
how many less people went? They got to have a handle on how many people went, period.
Yeah, they must have something like
They
that.
got to have a handle on it. Oh, my God. Kelly Ripa is fucking. Oh, my God.
Kelly Ripa?
She's waxing fucking philosophical about. Apparently, Ryan Seacrest is a fingerer.
No, get out.
Yeah.
Another one?
Yeah, I don't know if it might take the like of fucking Ryan Seacrest to be the one who defeats it and doesn't like quit his job or get fired. You know, someone when he fingered me and he goes, "Fuck you."
Well, doesn't
no, I
he
didn't.
own
I'm a faggot.
lot of the shows that he's on?
I mean, the one he's on with Kelly Ripa, he don't own.
What show is he on with Kelly Ripa?
That live, it used to be Live with Kathy Lee and Regis, then it was Kelly and Regis, then it was Kelly and Michael. Now it's Kelly and fucking...
I haven't seen that show since it was Regis and Kathy Lee.
Well, there you go.
And I don't think I've ever watched a whole episode. So now, Al,
Yeah.
you were an English major, so you were in the liberal arts college.
Yes, I was.
So was it crazy back then? Meaning with these... So you weren't quite in the humanities, but you're in liberal arts.
I'm going to answer your question without you telling me specifically what you're looking for, but I'm going to tell you the answer you're looking for.
Okay.
They taught us that because we were white men, that we were fucking racist and we were sexist, and that's just the bottom line. Is that what you're talking about? Was it crazy?
Yeah.
It was
I don't know.
crazy liberal fucking and it was all very confusing to me.
Because this was the 1980s.
1986, the fall of 86, I entered UMass, yes.
Now, I was in hard sciences, so nobody talked about any of that shit. And I don't remember it, because I don't remember being...
But how was it in the dorm?
We shared... We had a co-ed bathroom.
Yeah, I did too.
We had a big co-ed bathroom, and nobody made any... There wasn't any... Wasn't any posters up or anything. There was no talk about... I think it was back when you probably could still rape somebody and just get away with it. I don't know. But I didn't know anybody that did that, you know? Although I did know a few people in fraternities that, you know, there was stories of a drunk, passed-out girl maybe getting a few dicks.
I remember being...
Which wasn't good, by the way.
I remember being confused by the fact that there was a whole bunch of people who were annoyed with people who believed that they didn't believe in abortion. Now, I don't. To me, abortion is a non-issue. It's just a non-issue, and but I was raised to think, you know, abortion sucked and all that, and that's fine. But the first time I noticed, basically a liberal thinking that anyone who thought the way that they thought, that they were just fucking asshole, evil people. You know what I mean?
I don't think I
and
had
to me,
any...
I was like, I don't care what you do, either way, whether you believe in it or you don't believe in it. So why would you get annoyed? I don't begrudge you your belief. Why begrudge me mine?
I don't think
I
I had any beliefs when I went to college.
Well, I was definitely sorting through them. You know what I mean?
And none were discussed.
I believe... I'll tell you one belief I had, and that's that I would never die. By the way, I fucking treated myself and continue to treat myself.
Well, there's a lot of that going on.
You know what I mean?
Young people feel very immortal.
Fucking.
I don't think I had any beliefs. Although in hindsight, because I had to take like an English class.
Yeah.
You know, like a writing class.
Sure. You probably had to take freshman writing and junior writing.
And I remember the best I could get out of that was like a fucking... they did grades at UMass, like a BC.
Yeah.
That's like the best I could get.
In the writing classes?
Yeah, and
nothing wrong with that.
No. However, I read some of the shit my classmates who got A's wrote, and mine
shit.
wasn't much. Mine wasn't a, you know, I think I deserved a B or an AB.
Yeah.
And I did make a lot of jokes in class, and I believe it came to me that this is all subjective.
Well, no, not when it comes to shit like sentence structure and formulating a cohesive idea. And
if you take a writing class and you spell everything right, And you're supposed to be judged on your content.
Yeah, it's not just...
It's subjective.
Well, that was the idea of junior writing, by the way. Even if you're a science major, you have to take junior writing.
Well, yeah, you're going to be
It
able to
means
write.
about your subject. You know what I mean? So you're taking writing with all other science guys. You know what I mean?
No, this was just regular old writing.
It was just writing?
Yeah, you had to take a couple, like I had to take economics.
Put up,
Yeah. I had to take an economics class, which was somewhat interesting.
See, my junior writing class as an English major was...
But I don't think the teacher liked me in hindsight. I thought about this years later because I joked around in class. So, unlike a math, where you can go in and you there's like a midterm, some quizzes, all things that will get graded, and there's no subjectivity.
Yeah.
You either got it right or you get it wrong. Very little, maybe he could give you a little less partial credit than somebody else.
Yeah.
This was pretty much all subjective.
My junior writing class was called Analytical Criticism.
Analytical criticism.
So what we did in that class was...
Your freshman?
No, this is junior. It was my junior.
How about your freshman year?
Freshman writing, everyone has the same freshman writing class. It's called freshman writing.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Freshman writing.
Well, you were telling me about junior writing, too, which is vastly different than...
Did I say junior?
Yeah, you sure did. You never said freshman. You said, when you listen, you'll hear it. All you said was talking about junior writing.
Well, no, I'm talking about the core classes you had to take when you were a freshman and a sophomore, no matter what your major was.
Freshman writing, yeah.
I got that. I got a BC in that no matter what I did.
See,
and I really tried.
That's not bad, though.
I think it's horrible.
Listen,
but I'm thinking back, and I remember, I think the woman who was probably 24 didn't like me. So
it's because you couldn't spell and your punctuation sucked, and you know what I mean? That's all.
Couldn't have been that bad compared to like I said, I saw some of the other people's work, and theirs wasn't much
and they
better.
couldn't even write in one tense in a sentence. They're like using 3 different tenses and all that shit.
I thought I was getting fucked over.
Nah, I think BC...
But they can fuck you over because it's just all subjective.
BC, by definition, is better than average, Joe, so there you go.
It's a C+.
Yeah. I mean, whatever.
It's a B- or a C+, depending on how you're looking at it.
Fucking 80.
No,
That's what it is.
No. It's a 77.5, right?
I don't think so. I think a B is an 85. It doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Well, no, a B is an 80.
A B is a 3.
A B+ is over 85, less than 90. An A is 90. An A+ is over 95.
I think you got to figure it out on
Isn't
the
that
grade point scale thing.
Isn't that how they do it?
I think a 3.5 is an A. A 3.0 is a B. A 2. I don't know.
Well, they were weighted. If you had a 4-credit class or a 3-credit class.
The whole grades thing. I was looking for my lease. I thought I put it in the safe place with my will and my fucking insurance pay. I do, believe it or not, I am fucking organized enough where all my important papers are in the same place.
And you consider the lease an important paper?
Well, I just wanted to keep it just to refer to when, whatever. I couldn't find it. But what I did find was from my fucking days of trying to get a teaching job, I got all my fucking UMass transcripts in sealed envelopes.
Oh, no kidding.
That, a few of them went out for fucking job interviews, job applications and shit. But I must have, and those things aren't cheap. They're like $25 a pop. I must have 5 or 6 of them just laying there that I spent. You know what I mean? I spent $300 or something, got 12 of them.
They were free when we went to the winter, but I don't think
that's anymore.
That's if you don't get, if they just print them out. If you want them accredited or whatever they call them. Yeah.
And they put them in a sealed envelope.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. My grade point average was like a 2.2 5,
Yeah, we talked
something
about
like that.
this on the second or third show. I graduated from UMass Amherst with a bachelor's in English with a 2.14. Thank you.
Well, but you graduate. Now, the cool thing was when I transferred all my credits to SUNY, they dropped. I had 2 failing grades. One was magnetic field theory, and the other one was Spanish 4, who I basically paid someone to take, and they never went to class.
Those assholes. You paid them the whole semester and they didn't go?
Well, what I did was we
dick.
had an apartment, and I let him stay at our apartment over the winter break at UMass, which is like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
5 or 6 weeks. No, it's 6
Some
weeks.
free fucking rent right there, man.
So he got to stay there. Him and a couple of pals got to stay there. I don't think my roommates were happy about that, but
Fuck 'em.
that paid for my.
It's called subletting.
And he was He was a buddy of mine, Ramon
See.
Arras, Arras.
Nice.
If you see him, punch him in the fucking balls. And he spoke fluent Spanish, and he said, "Oh, I'll take that class for you." He offered.
Mis sabios de pescas es la
Because when I
cocina.
dropped out of the, I got out of the School of Engineering, and the thing that I didn't pay attention to was, so I was going from getting an engineering degree to getting a math degree, but now that's a liberal arts degree. So at the time, you had to have 4 semesters of a foreign language,
Ugh.
or you had to pass the 4th
test.
semester.
Yeah. Oh, I got you.
Meaning, if you could speak and write fluent French,
I got you.
you could go. They just wanted you to be able to speak and write a foreign language. So I'm like, well, the only way I'm going to get out of here with a degree is I'm not sticking around for 4 semesters.
Yeah, you need old Pasquale to take the
I got
fucking.
1 more semester to go,
Yeah.
and
What a nightmare.
so Ramon did not pass
Sucks.
and never went to class
Didn't even try.
and left for California.
I mean,
with a big smile on his face, because I
he
said,
left for California 5 weeks and 6 days into your fucking 6-week break.
No, he was around for that was my final semester,
Boy.
senior year, and I was doing finals, and I bumped into Ramon, and he said, "Well, you're getting a BC in it, so you're not getting a great grade, but I passed it, Joe." And he was off to California. And when I got the grades, I had failed.
Oh, it's the worst.
And but there's a lesson in there somewhere about paying someone or trading someone to go and take a class for you.
Well, I guess you get what you pay for, Joe.
Well, I don't know what the rent would be worth for 3 guys in an apartment
Yeah.
for 6 weeks.
Plenty.
I would think that would be enough.
Yeah, well, no.
Well, and at the time,
Far be it for someone named Ramon to behave honorably.
Well,
You know what I mean?
and it's funny when I went on Facebook.
Are you saying that Ramon was looking for a handout, Joe?
Ramon was not he was not a foreign-born person or anything. I don't think his folks were either.
Oh.
Somebody was of Spanish descent from Spain. And Ramon. Now, today, if I saw Ramon, I'd laugh. I'd have a laugh with him. Because, you can't be mad after fucking 40 years,
No,
right?
you have the perspective of your life. It was fucking humorous. He got
And
one
in
over on
hindsight, of course he didn't go.
you. Yeah, well, that's my point.
He knew he was going to California.
Right.
We knew that he was moving there. It was senior year, so he didn't want to work anyway
Yeah.
because I don't know what he was taking. I forget what it was it was an easy major.
Spanish.
He didn't have to study much. And so in hindsight, it wasn't so surprising that Ramon never went to class. But that's a lesson to you kids.
I took from
You
my
got to
language.
make sure they're going.
I was demonstrably awful at languages in fucking in regular high school. I didn't even take any in high school because I was awful in junior high school, you know. But like you said, you get a liberal arts fucking major. You got to take a fucking language, Jack. And UMass is wonderful because literally, I mean, obviously not every language because I know there's hundreds of languages, but you know, all the major languages, you could fucking get a class at fucking UMass. And I took 4 semesters of Dutch. Of course, I was married. Well, I was not married. I was dating a Dutch girl, but there was a guy there who was a fucking Dutch professor. He was a guy from Holland, but he was like a literature guy, cranky, crotchety old dude. And,
You know, I just never
he
had.
taught Dutch.
I took some Spanish in high school.
And I got 4 C's. A
No,
C,
wait.
a C, a C, and a C. Thank you.
So you did the 4 semesters.
I had to. And I got 4 C's. And he was also my academic advisor. And I remember when I asked him to be my academic advisor, he goes, "You're not going to tackle the rest of your college career with the inadequacy that you tackle my class, are you?" And he was Dutch. He had a pretty good. He wrote novels in both English and Dutch, so he had a command of the language. Now, obviously, I paraphrased him, but I think I almost got it verbatim. You know what I mean? He was basically telling me that I'm just a terrible student, and please. He goes, "I'm not going to advise you to do nothing."
I took a philosophy class.
Eric Bakeman, rest in peace.
Now, I never had to finish up the foreign language thing. I never had any interest in learning a foreign language. Just could never. I figured I didn't really want to go any place where they spoke a different language, and I figured that if you got dollars, you could probably figure it out. You know, you could find somebody that could translate for you. So
Listen.
I had a philosophy class, and this teacher had this was a class, a core requirement, they call them. You know what I mean? The core,
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with your major. It's just one of these fucking things you have to take to make you a well-rounded person.
Yeah.
So,
They don't want you taking all math classes, you know?
right.
God forbid you get really good at math.
They want you to, be well-rounded. So I
Yeah.
took a philosophy
Like
class.
a pencil.
And philosophy was actually somewhat interesting because there was some logic to it. You know, there was some, how do you know that? How can you prove that you're actually sitting at this table right now, and that you're not, on a spaceship somewhere? And,
Right.
and it was pretty. Some of it was pretty fucking cool. But the guy, when he had a test, he would leave the room. He didn't give a fuck what you did. People would be handing the blue books back and forth.
yeah.
He didn't care. He gave the worst grade. We're talking like freshman philosophy. The worst grade anyone got was like a B.
Right.
He just didn't give a shit. And I said, that's
That's
a
a
guy.
great professor.
Because why would you?
Yeah.
For a core class,
And
who gives a shit?
especially if you just show up. You know what I mean?
I know if your major was philosophy, maybe you'd have to, maybe you said, look, I can't.
You
just-
got to philosophize a little
Well,
bit.
you're going to have to take philosophy 2, and if you don't have any philosophy
Oh,
1,
shit.
then philosophy 2 through 5
Oh,
is going to be kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you're taking philosophy because it's a core course. It's funny. Ira and Chris, they asked me if I took the physics of sound and music.
Oh, that sounds like a great class.
And they were asking me, hey, you got a tit class we can take? And I said, yeah, you can take the physics of sound and music, which I found I thought it was interesting and easy. And
They both failed.
no, what they both did was they copied my part of you had to write a big paper. They copied, both of them copied my paper verbatim.
For the same class?
And they were in the same class.
That's
So
awesome.
not only was I there the semester before, but they were in the same class together and copied my paper, both of them. And the guy said nothing. And I believe Ira got a better grade than I did. I think I got like a B and he got an AB.
And Chris got a C.
And Chris probably got a C.
For the same exact thing, because he
Right.
probably annoyed somebody. I love him. That's an annoying motherfucker.
Chris?
I'm sure he was as annoying back then.
More.
Was he?
Probably
Oh, my
didn't go to
God.
class a
The
lot either.
guys just never shuts down. Never shuts off. Oh,
You know,
how's he
actually-
doing? Does he get around? I know he wasn't healthy because he had bad organs and shit.
He gets around, but he can't go anywhere.
Does
because-
he? Does he still like contract and shit?
Oh, yeah.
He does. That's still his thing.
He's still out. He's working. Like
He'll labor,
fuck yeah. He's
like
Pounding
installing
nails.
cabinets and shit.
You bet.
No shit. Good for him.
He says it's the only thing that keeps him alive. He believes.
Wow,
is
man.
actually working.
Sounds awful.
But he has to have. He dialyzes 6 days a week at home.
Oh wow, home dialysis.
Right. So he does it 2 hours a night, 6 days a week.
Because once you get to that point, there's no other out. You got to do it every day.
Well, you can do it every other day if you go to the center. And I think it's, I don't know how long it is, but I think it's 4 hours.
That's bad, man. How long's he had to do dialysis?
We're working on like 2 years here.
Oh, all right. I was going to say, Jesus
That's
Christ.
still a long time.
No, I know, but it's still going to be the rest of his life,
Well, if he doesn't get a kidney,
Yeah.
he's pretty sick of it. I'll tell you. And what happens is like they're running out of fucking veins that work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know what they do when it gets to the point where
What did we do to get so lucky with our health, man?
I don't know.
You look around and it's just like,
Well, my two college buddies, one ended up having a brain tumor at
Right.
fucking 48, 2011. Yeah, it's like 48. And Chris had diabetes in college.
yeah, but he had type 1.
He was an insulin diabetic.
All right, so he type 1 diabetes, right. So he
Is
had
that type 1?
Yeah, he
What's
had
the one where you have to take the pill? Is that type 2?
type 2 is you don't have to inject and all that.
Yeah,
But-
he had to take insulin, but he drank like a fish.
yeah, well, see, that's not good. That's not good.
And then by 32, he had burned out both of his kidneys.
Oh, it's
So
awful.
he needed a kidney transplant, and he got one. He got a kidney and a pancreas. And then he had those for 6 or 7 years, and then
Did he wear both of those out?
yeah, but he went to a doctor in Florida, and the doctor had given him some medication for a cold that shut down his anti-rejection drugs.
Oh, boy.
So that burnt out his new kidney and pancreas in a matter of months. He needed a new one. And then he got a new one from his brother, Mike.
Wow.
Now, he tells me that the average kidney only lasts 11 years, transplant.
Oh, really? So,
But Carl Anderson's wife has had one for 25 years.
wow.
But, he goes out and gets bombed with his new kidney.
He's still drinking. That's like Papa John. Papa John from the Mamas and the Papas. All the leaves are brown. Those Mamas
Keep
and the
talking.
Papas.
I got to piss.
Papa John Phillips did the liver thing, and from drinking and drugging, and
fucking his daughter.
not only was he fingering his daughter with his cock, he fucking burnt out some poor bastard's liver who he got a liver transplant. And he got another one. Yep. They burnt it out, and he still gave him another one, and then he fucking just died from drinking. He never quit drinking.
Well, that was Jerry Garcia's deal, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
Didn't Jerry burn 2 livers out?
Jesus Christ, Joe, I don't know. You know what? I should probably know that, but because I got this thing about the Grateful Dead and the people who follow them, you would think that I would not care because I'm like a free music spirit, but I
think
You know how I hate people who are zealots about anything? Yeah. If you're a deadhead, you're a zealot, and you fucking suck. And the plain fact that you are a deadhead makes me hate the Grateful Dead. You know what I mean? I've always been that way, and I know that sucks. It's kind of like the whole thing with the Harleys. Not that I'm comparing Harley people and fucking deadheads because they're polar opposites. But because most deadheads don't suck cock, like 99.9% of Harley guys. Slobber on a little knob there. Let's put on some leather and let's ride. Anyway, so back to...
You think the chick on the back has a cock up the guy's ass while he's riding?
Yeah, I mean, it's 100% just a beard.
The dual dildo seat.
It's the very epitome and definition of a beard.
Gay?
Anyway, so to answer your question about old Jerry Garcia, I don't know. Let's look it up, Joe. I'm going to look it up right now.
I tried to listen to some of the... There's two bands, the Grateful Dead and the Doors.
Oh, the Doors are insufferable.
And I could never... I put it on. It's like rap music to me. It's like putting rap music on. And I like tried to listen to rap music. I tried to listen to the Doors, and I tried to listen to the Grateful Dead. Like I sat there and made myself listen to an entire album, and it was fucking torture.
Well, you're right. He had diabetes, and he died at 53 in 95. He was young.
Jerry Garcia?
I didn't get up. You're right, though. It was his health and heroin and drinking and smoking. He was the epitome of...
He got a liver, right? Didn't he?
That's
get a
what
liver
I'm looking
transplant?
for right now. Hold on, buddy. Lifestyle and health.
So
I love Wikipedia, by the way.
It's great. They could be wrong, too.
Hold on. His long decade... what I'm looking for is liver...
Well...
Dehydration, batting...
I understand exactly what you're
diabetic coma,
saying.
1980s.
One of the worst things that a Christian can do are these evangelical Christians who they run around and tell you that you have to believe in Jesus Christ because they're going to try to save you. And they're the reason why, well, other than the Catholics.
He died in the rehab clinic. Sorry about it. Go ahead.
That's okay. Other than the Catholics, the priests fucking kids, nobody likes to be told that you're going to hell if you don't believe in this certain thing. Much like I'd much rather deal with an agnostic, is that correct, than an atheist.
Yes, correct. Because atheists put
you're
energy
just certain there is no God.
If you're an agnostic?
No, if you're an atheist, you're telling people that they're full of shit.
Yeah, right.
Now, if you're one of those people that is a believer and you don't spill any shit on anybody, I mean, if somebody asks you, you say, yeah, I believe.
No atheist is comfortable with everybody enjoying their own religion. Agnostics are like, you do what you want.
If you get some sort of
I'm
peace or
not
joy
doing it.
out of it
That's
and
it.
it works for you.
That's a true agnostic.
Right. So the atheist is just a fucking killjoy.
Yeah, they're right. They're a fucking stick in the mud.
And you got to be careful. I recorded Bill Maher. I had 6 shows of Bill Maher. I was going to watch it, and I got halfway through one show.
Does he still have a show?
Yeah, I deleted them all. Because
did you
Bill
at
Maher's
least look to see who was
funny,
on it? Oh,
but you know what? Bill Maher is absolutely certain that he's correct.
He's a cunt. He's just a cunt. And by the way,
and that makes you not funny.
Pretty sure he's probably mistreated some women, and I'm surprised he hasn't been put on the fingerer list yet. Which is fine because
he's definitely just I think he's probably been. I think he likes to get beat up by women. It doesn't look like it would take much to beat the fuck out of Bill Maher.
Yeah, he might be able to scrap a little bit, but you're right. He probably likes to get beat by women.
This dude is like 5'4". Bill Maher is not a tall
no, I know.
Individual.
He's got one of those like boxer faces or whatever. You know what I mean? It's probably from being beat on by women his whole life.
He's probably getting the shit kicked out of him by women, and he likes it.
You know what?
He's got the red ball in his mouth, and
again, every couple of years, guys like Bill Maher and him in specific, they say something, and all I do is shake my head. I'm not going to get worked up about him because my thing with him is he is a smart guy, and he's got
Sure he is.
and he knows how to communicate in English, and he is funny. But you're right, he just Bill.
Insufferable.
You're insufferable. You're an insufferable prick.
Has no. Now, I thought he made a movie, Religulous, which I thought was hysterical.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I got to see that. I
It
know
was
that's on my
funny,
list. Yeah,
but now he hates religion. He thinks all religion's bullshit, and it's
he's an
the
atheist.
pathway to evil. Yes, he is. So he does like to ruin shit for people. It says he's 5'8", but they lie by at least a few inches. So I'm telling you, he's 5'6", something like that.
Yeah.
They say he's got $30 million. He's worth $30 million.
He's been around for a long time.
He's
man.
had that HBO show since the 90s.
I was going
right?
to say he's been in and out of show like big show business for at least 25 years, and you got to figure because he also does the stand-up thing. Not just on TV, but he does stand up, and they say that's where the dough is. And because that's like the same thing with rock and roll bands. What you want to do is get people to fill a room and pay money to see you. You know what I mean? That's why
I guess, yeah.
It's the same thing as speaking tours and all that. So what I'm saying is you got to figure he's obviously we're saying he's a smart guy. He definitely probably put his money away, invested it wisely. $30 million sounds about right for a guy like Bill Maher. You know,
he's definitely funny.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's so pissed about Trump being in there is he's lost his sense of humor.
See, I haven't been paying attention that much. I would if you had asked me what my guess was on that, I would have said Bill Maher probably isn't that worked up about Donald Trump. But you're saying he is?
Oh yeah, especially because Donald Trump sued Bill Maher. Do you remember this?
Kind of.
All right. So Bill Maher said, I'll give Donald Trump, I'll donate $5 million to Trump's favorite charity if he can prove that his parents weren't orangutans. Something like that. So Trump sent the documentation that proved that his parents weren't orangutans. And Bill Maher didn't turn over the $5 million.
Yeah, now I remember. I remember the story.
So Trump sued him.
It all
This was
popped
only
up,
a
but now I
few years
remember,
before Trump was president.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Sued him for the money.
And that's how brilliant Donald Trump is.
I mean, isn't that great?
He's going to hold you to your fucking word, Bill.
And he came out and he said, hey, you said you'd give
a deal is a deal.
And, which charity you want to give it to?
Yep.
So now he's fucking over charities and,
The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump.
So he really disliked Trump.
Yeah,
and I don't care how rich you are. When you get that paper in the mail and you have to go fucking hire a lawyer, you know what I mean? And you got to pay, probably cost him a couple $100,000 to fucking get through this. You know what I mean? Because Trump will just sue you. He'll spend a couple $100,000 just to make your life fucking miserable.
Because it's his hobby.
He loves it.
It's what he does for fun. He sues people.
And he probably doesn't pay the lawyer either.
I mean,
Tells him to fuck up. But what I'm saying is Bill Maher fucking, that'll make you hate a guy.
Yeah.
Because, that'll take time out of your day.
Yeah.
You'll have to go to court. You know what I mean? You'll have to be deposed. Because he wasn't going to pay the $5 million.
Right.
So you got to go through the whole thing as far as the other guy wants to go.
Right.
So Bill Maher hated his fucking guts before he was president.
Yeah, well, listen, you couldn't talk about two guys who are fucking, I don't know. They're different. I'll put it that way. They're different guys. Although, hey, Trump's a businessman.
But, I could watch Bill Maher when
businessman.
George Bush was in there making fun of Bush because it was funny.
Yeah. It's
'Cause
kind of
Bush-
like shooting fish in a barrel, though.
Well, Bush he's fucking, there's something wrong with him. He's dumb.
I think,
There's something missing.
yeah, but I don't think he's an evil guy at all. I think he's soft. I think he's actually soft.
I don't think he's evil, but I think he's you own your decisions. He's president of the United States. He got us in that fucking war with Iraq. And I don't believe Dick Cheney was kicking him in the balls, making him do it. And hey, maybe maybe we had to go into Iraq, and there's something we don't know.
I think there's still stuff we don't know about that.
But you know what?
Point.
Nobody's. You would think that they could come out and declassify enough shit so that they could say, "Look, we know there wasn't any weapons of mass destruction, but but here's this."
Right.
And there's no this. There's no other thing. So we lost a lot of people.
I don't think we've been
and
separated far enough from it yet, Joe. We were just talking about Vietnam the other show.
Yeah, but we should.
We haven't had enough. We still haven't had enough time. Should we ever been in Vietnam? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Vietnam was sort of a first thing.
Yeah,
that was like a learning. That should have been the learning curve.
So what do you call Korea then? What about that?
A mistake.
Mistake also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
was pretty brief too, by the way.
And that was
us from the MASH TV generation thinking that the Korean War lasted
see,
fucking
the
as
problem
long
with
as MASH
Vietnam
did.
is the TV.
Right. Well, yeah. Right.
The problem with Vietnam was that wasn't a problem with Korea. Was the fucking TV.
Yeah, well, the same thing with fucking Desert Storm and that first Iraq war, too.
So they knew better. They knew better. Well, when Herbert Walker went into Iraq, he threw them out of Kuwait, drove them back to Baghdad, and
let it
fucking call it a day.
Right.
That was their mission.
However, that's not what a lot of his guys wanted him to do, by the way. He did make that call as the boss.
But it went swimmingly. But he didn't overthrow fucking the lunatic. And
because he knew.
So the deal is, oh, look at that.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the amount of times the Drudge Report was looked at. The
Today?
deal is, everybody must have told Bush, this is just a fucking bad idea.
Yeah.
Don't go.
So why did he go?
I think he... you know what I think? I think that they, meaning him and Cheney and Rumsfeld, thought that they could do some good by creating some sort of a democracy in the center of the Middle East.
Yeah.
They didn't realize that these people are still in a point in the developmental history where they need a fucking dictator, so that when they get out of line, somebody comes over and fucking kills a lot of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now I know that now. I didn't know that then.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of smart people that were telling them then, these people aren't ready for they're gonna break up into their religious sects, and they're gonna fucking be fighting with each other, and there's gonna be little terrorist cells all over the place. They knew this going in.
Right.
And the weapons of mass destruction, I don't believe that they didn't know that there weren't any. I think they got Colin Powell to go up there and fucking lie. So it was a shit show, and there's a bunch of dead kids, and there's like $3 trillion fucking gone. And
like, what do you mean, in cash?
Cash. Whoa. Doesn't matter whether it's cash or...
Oh, you mean the price tag of the war?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Price tag of the war is $3 or $4 trillion.
It's a fucking fart in the breeze.
It's not.
We're doing all right.
If it was $300 billion, I'd say, yeah, but it's the amount of money that they spent on the Iraq war. You could have insured everybody for the rest of the history of the United States. You could have given people health insurance.
Yeah.
So when you look at it that way,
by fucking half-ass doctors.
No, you
And
could
less
give him the
than
best
talented,
fucking medicine.
You think?
We're talking trillions of dollars.
I understand, buddy.
Trillions.
I'm with you. I still don't
$3,000 billion.
Yeah.
Or
For some reason, I still
$4,000
look at
billion.
healthcare as a commodity. I don't know why.
Well,
I
until
don't-
you
it's
get
a commodity. I am sick, and I've been sick for years. I'm sick. I'm dying. I'm dying.
Everybody's dying.
Everyone's dying.
You know who needs to die is this fucking Adam Schiff.
Yo, what is his exact fucking job again?
Well, he's on that committee that's investigating He's got that. Get a picture of him.
I am. I'm bringing it up. We've talked
Just
about
so
him.
you can look at him.
Yeah, we've talked about him.
He is just.
Oh my God, he's vile.
He's this bug-eyed.
Oh, he's a rep from California. No wonder he's a fucking freak.
He's all on the. He's the Russian collusion guy.
Yeah, right.
And he's just a fucking piece of scum.
Oh my God.
He's a dog fucker.
And
He's a cat fucker.
he was born in Framingham, Massachusetts.
There's no question. He's probably fucked his own kids. I'm guessing that his father used to fuck him.
Well-schooled, political science degree from Stanford and a JD from fucking Harvard Law. Nice.
Yeah. He's still. I think his father fucked him a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't
There's
see
a lot of fucking going
I
on.
don't see much about here about spouse and children. Do you think maybe? Oh no, he's got a spouse.
How far are we into this show?
We're clocking in at an hour and 17 minutes right now.
All right. So, neither one of us have much to talk about tonight. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, no, we're kind of just batting the ball around.
But it's not bad.
I'm playing, actually, not batting it, we're playing tetherball. It's like on a...
Yeah.
It's all,
Just sort of beating it around a fucking pole.
keeping the ball moving, kind of. I mean, listen, I have nothing to say.
There hasn't been a lot of exciting shit going
No,
on
it's a
this
slow
week.
news cycle. I mean, even in fucking Personalville, although I got keys to my new apartment this week. I'm moving in May, but I'm doing a bunch of work there. Did I tell you the deal with the new apartment? Like, I'm not
I
paying
think
rent
so.
until August. I paid my last rent in February, for February.
Are you still on Court Street?
Yeah, but I'm moving up to Main Street in Kingston. But I'm doing work in the
Why
place.
did I think you already got? Are you still near my office?
Yeah, still. But only for like 7 more weeks or whatever. 8 weeks.
Why did I think you were already moved?
Because, I don't know, because you're bizarre. You're a bizarre individual. That's all.
Because I
That's
don't
about
pay
as
any
nicely as
attention?
I can say it. You're a weirdo. But no. So I got the keys finally, and now I'm gonna be fucking fixing that place up, which would be fun. And then paying low rent. I might never ever buy a house, man. I'm looking at low rent and lots of space, bro.
Don't you worry.
I should probably do it by the square foot.
When the dough starts rolling in from this podcast,
Oh, dude.
you'll have to buy a house There's a place.
Well, yeah. I'll have to buy a couple.
as a place to dump your money.
Yeah, either that or just disappear finally. I'm just ready to disappear, dude.
Go away. Never be found.
I'm so ready.
Never talk to anybody again.
Speaking of which, I got to go to small claims. One of them caught up to me.
Get out.
One of them tracked me
Which
down.
one?
I'm not even sure, but it's only for like $1,500 or $1,600. But one of the banks finally fucking tracked me down. So I'm gonna go. I put in for
Is
the
this on a card?
Yeah. So I've already started looking up how to beat the credit cards in small claims court.
There's got to be like
And I'm
100
gonna
ways to do it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm not giving them shit. I've already said that I will. I'm willing. I'm willing to have a little mediation meeting before we
Right.
get to the judge.
Give him $50.
That's what I'm gonna tell them. I say I'll give you $20,
$20 a week.
and they're gonna go
$20 a month.
No, I give you How about $20
Period.
and shove the extra 100 up your ass for filing? I'm gonna give you $20, and I don't know what reason I'm gonna use yet, but I'm gonna go. Listen, that wasn't me who signed up for that credit card. It wasn't me.
That's not a bad.
It wasn't me. The Dennis Rodman defense. You know what I'm talking about? The girls falling through the fucking ceiling. You know, Carmen Electra walks in on him banging his girlfriend. And he goes,
wasn't me.
no, he goes, wait a minute. First of all, he didn't even say what. He goes, what are you talking about? She goes, you're in bed fucking another girl. He goes, what are you talking about? There's a fucking woman right there next to you in bed. And he goes, oh, yeah, look at that. She must have fallen out of the ceiling or something. That's going to be me in court. I'm just going to go. Now, unless small claims courts can, tell you in contempt or whatever. But no, I'm just going to totally straight-faced go.
No,
I'm never paying any. I'm not going to pay any money. So let's just get that right out in the open. I'll say that to the guy in mediation.
They can put a judgment on you.
Yeah.
But it's not like I don't think it's a bench warrant.
No.
And
they do want you to bring money. Like if you got a parking ticket or a traffic stop that you're appealing, if you get found guilty, they want you to pay.
That's
that
a whole
day.
different thing.
No, I understand. Small claims isn't like that. They go, Mr. Capozzi, you lose, you have to pay, and you sign and say, I'll pay, and then you never pay them.
Right.
I mean, that's probably what's going to happen. But I am going to, for the humor of it and for the story that I'll be able to tell, first thing I'm going to say in the mediation, I'm never ever paying you any of the money. Okay?
No, you just have to. No, I think you stick with your first story. You get the wrong.
It wasn't
guy.
me. Yeah, it wasn't me.
I've never had the credit
It
card
wasn't
you're
me.
speaking of.
I didn't have that.
Well, don't
card.
you live at such and such address?
No, I don't.
Well, you kind of have to tell them. Well, I don't know. What is your license? Does your license have your current address?
Here's my current address, but I'm moving again. That's why I'm like, fuck. It was like almost perfect. I was almost out of it. They would have taken them another 2 or 3 years. You know what I mean? The ones who I really fucked was the paint company, the paint store.
Now, have they come after you?
And Santander I fucked very well and hard.
But as you should.
And that wasn't even a credit card fuck. You'd be proud. I told you the Santander. That wasn't even credit cards. That was the ones who had my checking account, my business checking account.
No, I haven't heard this one.
And I had I had put in some fucking money on a Friday, and I used my fucking debit card over the weekend, and they're like, well, it didn't clear. I'm like, every other fucking bank on the planet. It wasn't even. It was $15,000 in a check I fucking deposited.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I had like $12 in my account when I put it in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was like, yeah, finished a big job. You know what I mean? And I went grocery shopping. I went clothes shopping. I got gas. I got something. I got this and this. By the end of the weekend, it was $1,200. And they pinged me $35 per transaction, and whatever it added up to, it was a lot of money.
Why did the check bounce?
No, because they didn't cover it until the bank opened. They didn't cover any of it, even though they didn't cover any of it.
I understand.
And I'm like, it's $15,000 fucking dollars, and it fucking cleared on Monday. There's got to be something that goes. I'm like, look the money was in there, and yeah, well, maybe you should have not let my fucking debit card pick it up. If you're going to ping me for $35 a transaction. And I don't remember. It was like...
Yeah, that's fucking robbery.
It was a lot of money.
If the money's not there, then you shouldn't be able to... The debit card should be declined.
So what I did was...
They do this on purpose
Yeah.
so they can... This is what Citizens Bank is terrible at this still. They got fucking... They had a class action suit. They had to pay like... If not hundreds of millions, tens of millions of dollars back to people.
So I went... and I did all my...
fuck them.
I went and did all my banking for as long as that money lasted.
Yeah.
I let it get down to where I knew it was zero. I did, I balanced everything. I knew exactly where I was. And as soon as as soon as that fucking thing got down to zero in my estimation, I made the exact amount of transactions that they fucked me out of at $35 a piece.
Yeah.
It was like $1,200. It was a lot of transactions, man. At 35, we're talking like 40 transactions. Yeah, like 40 transactions, something like that.
So meaning you took your debit card knowing that there was no money.
Yep. And I did the same thing almost exactly. I was on a weekend.
That is fucking awesome.
And never paid them back.
Now,
And they're like, we're closing your account down. I'm like, fuck you, close my fucking account down, because that's when I went all cash.
right.
I've been all cash since then.
So
And that's why I can't. I still can't open a regular checking account because I fucked them that way, and it wasn't even that much money. But I was like, fuck you, you cunt. I got my money back.
now, do they come after you?
They haven't tracked me down yet. I've avoided them. I've lived in enough places. You know what I mean?
So
There's other credit cards too. I've fucked another company out of $10,000 again already. The guys who caught up to me, it was like I said, it was only for like $1,100 or $1,200. I'm like, come on, guys. You know what I mean? At least kudos to them. They finally got. They keep going to like different collection agencies and then law offices, and I keep getting law office letters. If you're not me, we're gonna fucking. And I'm like,
some people actually take those seriously.
I don't take any of them seriously anymore. Remember when you used to get worked up about that shit?
No.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's just
Now
throw them in the
it's
trash.
fun. Now it's fun. It's like a hobby. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm never. Yeah. What's my credit score? Oh, all right. I can never own a new car. Oh well. I can't own a house. Oh well.
that's the
Fuck
problem
it.
with this shit.
Renting
because
a car is more important than owning one.
These
but
fucking banks, they're just filthy scum,
yeah, and I've
and the people in there should be
put it
killed.
right to 'em.
Bank of America would do that in a heartbeat. They should be killed.
Yeah.
Citizens Bank, that bank ought to be.
They're the worst.
They should be blown up.
And Santander's
I'm surprised.
a way bigger. But you notice the bigger the bank, the scummier they are.
Oh, they're just fucking. They're slime. Citizens Bank needs to like have. Jesus, why doesn't somebody go in and shoot up a bunch of Citizens Banks? You know what I mean?
The Citizens Bank headquarters, not.
Just kill just go to the CEO's house during Thanksgiving and kill his fucking family, his mom, his dad, his fucking mother-in-law,
Right.
everybody. Just fucking kill everyone. And just make it so that these people deserve to die.
Right.
They really do. I'm serious. They deserve to die.
Well, bankers forever have been considered evil people. You know what I mean? That's just, anybody who charges money for money is viewed as basically a fucking bagel and lox eating kike. You know what I mean?
Oh, you don't want to. That's anti-Semitic.
Well, I'm not saying I consider them that.
A lot of these
view
banks are run by goys. Believe me.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, statistically, I'm pretty sure it's the majority are run by goys. You know what I mean?
And it's and they're fucking. Slime.
You know what? There's probably not that many legit Jewish bankers now that I'm thinking about it. They're more like real estate and jewelry. You know what I mean?
Well, or in the investment bank where everybody's a player.
Yeah, right.
You know, there's no dumb clients. You know what I mean?
Well,
let's put it this way: there's no really poor clients.
yeah,
They're
right.
getting ass fucked for $35 a transaction.
Right.
Because they were doing that. Citizens Bank was doing. My kid was doing that. She had no money, and this was her fault. But she had no money in the account, and she'd go in she had a checking and a savings account, and I put money in the savings account, and she wouldn't transfer the money into her checking account, but she would write a check and then transfer it in. So the money was there, and they'd bang her for $35.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
And we had a joint account together, and I used to see it.
Oh.
And I said, you got to stop doing this.
Yeah, it's just like burning money.
Because 35, she would spend $8 on a pizza that would cost $8 plus $35.
Oh, it's vile.
You
That's
know,
what
and I'm
my-
like, you got to understand, this is craziness.
By the
I'm
way-
not going to give you any more money.
The current person I'm married to, that's where she was at before I got a hold of her. By the way,
Jesus.
she's doing very well now in that situation.
Now, how is her credit score devoid of? Is it okay?
Nah, hers is on the bad. She can't really have a real credit card still, and she ain't gonna get. The problem is she got a car repo on her fucking credit, and even though it was a long time ago and it shouldn't be on, it's not on all of them, but it's still on one of them. And listen, she probably shouldn't have a credit card anyway. You know what I mean? She's fine without one. Everything's fine. We're doing the cash thing. It seems to be working out. She had a credit card, and it just didn't work out well. But the only thing with the credit card is you cannot rent a car without a real credit card. Although, wait a minute. I think we rented one. Oh, no. We still had her little credit card.
No, and when you went to San Diego, you had my sister
Well, I didn't have a credit card.
had to rent one for you,
Yeah, that's about the only thing that I can think of.
and then she tortured you.
Yeah, well, that's fine. That's another story.
Is that this month?
Well, yeah.
A year ago this month?
I believe he disappeared March 8th last year, 2017.
No, it was February 8th.
Oh, February. That's I went out there.
No, the
a
last
month
time I
later.
saw him was February 8th.
Okay. Well, I went out there. It's around this time of year last year.
The more time that goes by, that gets behind that, the better.
Yeah, he'll show up. When he's ready. He'll.
No, I'm
he'll
not
come
worried
home.
about him. I just want like 2 or 3 years to go by, so I don't even have to think about that ever again. That whole scenario.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do too.
No, I don't.
Put
I
some
don't even know
distance.
how I feel about it. I think I've put it behind me.
Well, I mean, I don't think about it much,
Yeah.
but I just it was just a sad. It's not so much my nephew going missing; it's the way my family member, my sister, handled this.
Yeah.
It's just horrid.
Yeah, I mean, it's
So-
one for the fucking psychoanalysts' textbooks. Although I don't
even
want
know
to
how
even talk
describe
about
it. It's
Freudian
just
shit.
Crazy.
Some fucking is antisocial lumped in with craziness, like sociopath. We're not talking about psychopath. We're talking about sociopath. That's craziness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a sociopath right there.
I don't know. I'm not meaning I'm not disagreeing with
and-
you. I just don't know.
And revisionist
It's
historian.
some sort of fucking psycho, that's for sure.
And if revisionist historian had a capital R and a capital H, she's one of them.
I'm glad it's time going by, and it'll be like way in the past.
I just hope he fucking rolls up one day.
He's gonna roll up,
Yeah.
and I believe me. Now I understand why the kid left.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Hey, on that note, what do you say we call it a night, Bobalicious?
Sounds good, man. All right. Have a good weekend, buddy.
You too?
If any of you 3 or 4 people out there want to communicate by email, kinda@yahoo.com, kinda@yahoo.com.
We're going to have a website someday.
We're going to it'll be kinda@kindaright.com, hopefully, one day.
Pretty soon. Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not doing it.
No, I'm going to do it.
That's fine. All right, pal.
It's going to take some time.
All right, have a good weekend, buddy.
You too.